Welcome to Go Get Great, the podcast for aspiring entrepreneurs and ambitious small business owners. I'm your host, Brittany, owner of Brittany Miller Socials and mother of 3. Go Get Great is all about helping you make life and business work together. You'll learn about the fumbles that helped get me and my guests to where we are today so you don't have to make them. So come join the journey with Go Get Great. Good morning and welcome back to the Go Get Great podcast. I am so excited to introduce today's guest, Shelley Meche'tte. She is a true force in personal transformation. As a coach, strategist, and speaker, she illuminates stages worldwide, inspiring individuals to embrace limitless opportunities. She's also a best-selling author of empowering books, including 70 Days of Happy and Power Her Minds. Shelley goes beyond mediocrity. She is a mom life strategist, and she urges women to embrace their identity beyond motherhood, unlocking life harmony and joy. Founder of the Powerful Women, Shelley provides a platform for women's personal and professional elevation. Shelley's influence actually extends beyond the online, with appearances on shows like Positive Talk Radio and events like Powerful Women Conference. Media giants celebrate her impact with features on CBS, NBC, and ABC. In 2021, she earned recognition as one of the top 25 women in business. In a world where empowerment resonates, Shelley Meche'tte stands as a paragon of transformation, inspiration, and resilience, showcasing the boundless power within each of us, which you will definitely see in today's episode, where we talk about holding onto your smile during the Christmas chaos. She has a very fun acronym for the word SMILE that's going to help you stay on track, calm, cool, and collected over the holidays. She also does a fantastic job of inspiring me and hopefully you as you listen with a few other different empowerment tools and techniques to help you identify your mom type, and also gives you some words of encouragement if you're looking to become a published author in 2024, like I'm maybe hoping to add to my vision board. So without further ado, welcome, Shelley. All right. Well, good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Go Get Great podcast. You guys know that I just introduced Shelley with her official bio, but I'd love for you to introduce yourself in your own words, if you don't mind.
Yes, thank you so much. Well, again, my name is Shelley Meche'tte. I am a certified life purpose and confidence coach. I am also a best-selling author. I am a speaker, and one of my favorite titles is I am a mom life strategist. And so I help busy, ambitious moms successfully harmonize motherhood with work, life, and passion. And we do all that with no mom guilt. So how about that?
That sounds really good to me.
Right. That's the key. We get to do that with no mom guilt. Yes,
Yeah.
and my background is pretty much I grew up in a single parent home. It was just me and my mom for 10 years. Then my brother came along. My mom married when I was about maybe 12 or 13. And so that dynamic from going from just me and my mom for so many years, and then just me, my mom, and my brother, for a couple of years, to having this other parental role in my life, it caused me to not dislike that, but there was a lot of um change, that happened. And so it was a lot of change that went on that I don't really think my mom really thought about. As long as she had this wonderful person in her life who was wonderful to her children, I don't really think she thought about the dynamic of what it looks like from the child side. And so I repeated that, as well as my family is a blended family as well. But what happened is, because I had that experience, when I was younger, I took time to go back to talk to my kids about the fact that my child, that I was going to be getting married, and this, and things were going to change, and blah blah blah, to kind of help her go through that process a little bit better. Now later in life, she still tells me I still didn't like it, so I'm not sure how well the process went, but she's like, I still didn't want to do it.
You tried.
Right. So it just goes to show that even when you try to do something as a mom, we don't always hit that. We don't get it right all the time, and that's okay.
No, for sure. Now that was actually what I was going to ask you first, because you have such an impressive story and bio. Is that kind of how you got started with your business and kind of where the passion and inspiration came from? Can you share a little bit more about that?
Yeah, the way I got started with my business is actually kind of interesting because I have a background in entertainment. And so being in
Mm.
entertainment, I've always, number one, I've always been a very independent person. I've always wanted my own. I've never remembered a time in life where I didn't want to have my own. So I've always wanted to have my own money, be independent, work for myself, I've always wanted a business. So these are things even young, even as a child, I
Mhm.
always saw myself as the CEO. When everybody was playing with with Barbies, I was playing with them too. But I was a mom and I had the briefcase coming in from being the CEO.
Love
So
it.
that's kind of where my mind has always been, even as a young person. And so while working,
Mhm.
I like I said, I was a single mom. I worked in entertainment. I worked pretty cool hours, but what happened is my daughter, she was in daycare all day, like most of us. And so I saw my daughter. We woke up at 5 in the morning and I didn't see her again until 6:30 in the evening. And so one day I left her at daycare, and for some reason, she just was having a hard time going to daycare. And she was hugging on me and she wouldn't let me go. And she was crying. And I just couldn't understand because she had never been this way at daycare. And so I remember laying her down on the couch and I was patting her back and I was rubbing her back and I was talking to her and kissing her and letting her know it was okay and I'll be back. She was probably around 2 at the time. And she had calmed down. And so I got up to walk away and I looked back at her. It chokes me up every time I tell the story. But I looked back at her to tell her that I love her. And I saw one tear just fall slowly down her face.
Mm.
And I felt like the worst mom who had ever lived. And my whole thing was, but I have to work. I don't have a choice, but to provide for you. But it was that thing that when I became pregnant with my second daughter that I said, I can't do that again. I have to find a
Mm.
way to be home and to be with my children. But when I left my job, my husband and I talked about it and we decided, okay, great, we'll do that. It's going to knock the income down and all of those things. So when I left my job in entertainment, what I didn't realize, you guys, is that I left the identity there too. I had taken care of
Mm.
myself since I was a teenager. I never had to ask anybody for anything. I provided for myself. I purchased my first car at 18. I was in my first apartment at
Good
23.
for you.
So, I did all of these things. And when I became a stay-at-home mom, I didn't know that my personal identity got left behind. I was, I was Shelley so and so's mom. I was Shelley so and so's wife. I didn't know who I was anymore. And I just got caught up in motherhood and the title to the point of where I lost value in myself.
Mm.
I lost the person. I didn't know if I liked Cheerios or if I just ate them because the kids left it. I didn't know anymore. And I found myself in the mirror, Brittany, completely broken. And I broke down in the mirror because I didn't know the woman who I was looking at. And I stood in the mirror and all of these other things came out that I didn't know was in me that I had to deal with.
Mm.
I had to deal with other insecurities that I didn't know about when I decided to stand in front of myself naked. But it was from that point that I decided it's no one else's responsibility to make me happy or help me to reignite with the woman that I once was or trying to blend these worlds together. That's my responsibility. So I took
Mhm.
myself on a journey to find out, well, who is this person? Who is this woman? And in that journey, I found authentic happiness. I found other pieces to who I was. I found out that I can be great without adding an extra title to myself. And once I did that, I said, there has got to be some more moms out here who feel the same way that I feel. And I
Mhm.
wanted to be able to give that community back to women, that self confidence back to women, that desire back to women, and to help women understand as a mother, as a woman, you never have to be this or that. We are always an and then you get to decide what
Mhm.
comes after and.
I like that. I like that a lot. Yeah. So, how long have you been working in your business now?
I've actually been a certified coach maybe I want to say maybe about 6 or 7 years. What's so funny is I've always been this
Wow.
person. You know what I mean? So
Hmm.
I've always been that person that people come to. I've always been that person to sit down and try to walk people through situations. I just didn't have a name, attached
Hmm.
to it. And so when I figured out, oh wow, I can actually become certified to do this and da, da. So I want to say maybe that's been about 6 or 7 years, but I switched to becoming a mom life strategist because I was working with women and women finding their purpose. And I switched to becoming a mom life strategist maybe 2 years ago because I'm like, I know. I know it's some moms out here who went through what I went through those years before.
Hmm. Hmm. So I'm curious because I find that I have a really big struggle right now. I feel like I'm going through a transitional period in my life and in my business. And I think I need a new title to describe who I am. And mom life strategist, definitely, and I don't mean this in a negative way, but sounds like something you made up to fit who you are and what you have to
Mhm.
offer. So I'm curious if you don't mind sharing kind of how you came to that decision to call yourself that, because I would love some
Yeah.
inspiration for my own retitling.
Absolutely. And first of all, that's not a insult. Any name like life coach. Somebody woke up one day and said, I coach
True.
people in getting their life together. So anything that we've become, somebody said, this is the passion that I am, and I've decided to do it. So
Hmm.
I went over and over with what it was that I did. And so being able to
Hmm.
say that I was a coach, I'm like, that just encompasses so many things. Even though I do coach moms, that encompasses so many things.
Hmm.
So who is it that I'm trying to coach? Who is it that I love so much? I love women and I've been coaching women for years, but I have a special love for moms. And so I wanted to make sure that
Hmm.
my audience knew that I was in your corner as a mom. And so for me, it wasn't just about being a mom and creating work life balance. It wasn't just being a mom and understanding your passion, because these are all things that I was helping women do. But what I wanted to do is I wanted to help
Hmm.
women harmonize that in their lives, period. So that encompasses
Hmm.
your work, that encompasses who you are, that encompasses life balance, that encompasses your hobbies, your passion. It encompasses all those things. And so that's not just a portion of
Hmm.
your life, it is your life. So I wanted to help you understand how to
Hmm.
strategize and harmonize being a mom and everything else that you are in life. And that is what I do. I help moms I give you a strategy so that you can successfully harmonize motherhood and life. And what does life encompass? All of those things. Working, passion, volunteer, time management, self-care.
Hmm.
It encompasses everything in your life that we as moms are
Hmm.
always trying to harmonize.
Hmm. I like that. I think that's really good. I feel like the popular phrase right now is work life balance, and I think that's been that way for quite a while. It like culturally speaking, it's in the news and media a lot. Everyone's striving for this work life balance, but I think it leaves out so much of the other things that you just mentioned, the passion
Mm-hmm.
and the volunteering and all of that. So we're striving for this ideal that doesn't work because we're forgetting the other half of the equation that goes with it. So I
Exactly.
really like that.
Exactly. And
Hmm.
that's my whole point. You hit it right. You hit that nail on the head. As I said, and I thought about it, I'm like, I'm not just coaching you through things. I'm helping you understand that. And again, this is no disrespect to any coach. I'm a coach. But as a coach, I think sometimes we may get stuck in the ABC of things to say, well,
Mm.
if you have issues with time management, then break it down this way and do it this way and lay it out like this, and then time management will be better for you. And I'm not saying that that's not true.
Hmm.
What I'm saying is, as a strategist, for me and myself, it becomes personal. I can tell you about time
Hmm.
management, but I need to understand what your world looks like first so that we can create time
Hmm.
management strategy, so you can incorporate
Hmm.
these things, so you can understand how your plate works, so you can understand where to
Hmm.
find time. And I can't give that to you with an ABC. I need to strategize that with you with your personal life season and what your actual mom type is.
Okay. Mom types. So there's different types of moms too.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely.
Okay.
And so before we can even understand, and just using time management as a, as an example, before we can even understand how to manage your life, I need to understand what type of mom you are. So our mom types change
Mm.
throughout our lives. But what happens a lot of times is we're still using old strategy, old time management habits, old things that we did when our
Oh.
children were 3, 5, and 7. Well, now your children
Mhm.
are 17, 19, and 20. You are in a different mind frame. You're not doing the same things
Mhm.
that you did. You can't, can you interact with a 5-year-old the same way you interact with a 15-year-old? You cannot.
No.
You are not. So your mom type changed. At first, I was the mom of toddlers. So my mind is different.
Mm.
My time is different. How I manage things is different. Well, now today, I'm a single working mom of 3 teens. That's a completely different mom type. I'm a single working mom. So now, under that,
Mhm.
who am I momming? 3 teenagers. Okay, well, now under that, what is my new life season? And how do I incorporate
Mm.
everything? So again, there's nothing wrong. I didn't want to identify myself as a coach because a coach, I felt like, and again, I'm not saying anything wrong because I am a coach, you guys. But what I'm saying is I wanted my clients to understand that there's strategy in what we do as moms when we're trying to harmonize motherhood and life. And in order to do that, we need to understand,
Mm.
where are we? I had a mom type as a single working mom. Then I had a mom type of a stay at home mom. When you understand your mom types and you understand your top 3 priorities in that mom type and what your life season is, then we can start harmonizing our day, our week, our goals, all of those things when we understand where we are
Mm.
in life. That's the strategy that we're talking
Okay.
about.
Mm. That makes a lot of sense. It's like I would ask if you could share kind of how you put all of that together, but I feel like it's so individual that it wouldn't really apply to most of the people listening.
It's very individual, but what happened is, again, and this came from sitting down, you guys. This came from even me talking to people. This came because coaches need coaches. I
Hmm.
still even needed someone to help me break down certain things and to help me understand. But when I sat down and looked over my life, and when I sat down and looked at some of the things that I was trying to do, I understood, oh wow, one of the things that a lot of us as moms do is we don't understand that we evolve as moms. We leave that little part out. When I am a brand new mom, there's so many things I don't understand. I don't get. I can't. I feel like I can't do. And so
Hmm.
now what happens is I become a mom of 2. Well, now, oh my goodness, there's so
Hmm.
many things that I don't understand, that I didn't get
Yeah.
because the things that I was trying to do over here, it doesn't work with this one over there. And so when I saw how we as moms so many times don't understand that we get to evolve too, not just as individuals, not just as an employee. I get to evolve as a mom. So I begin to sit down and go, well, what are these different mom types and how do we evolve as moms? And mainly
Hmm.
there and our mom types usually are, we're a married mom, we're a single mom, we're a
Hmm.
divorced mom, we're a widowed mom, or we're a stay-at-home mom.
Okay.
So we usually fall in one of those categories. And then what we
Hmm.
do from there is we subcategory to understand. Ah,
Okay.
Shelley is a single mom, and under there, she
Hmm.
works 9 to 5. She does this, she does that. As a single mom, your mom type, what are my top 3 priorities?
Hmm.
How do I balance that now with my sub, which is me working? So yes, it's an individual thing. And so, but that's
Hmm.
the small gist of it, but it becomes personal and it becomes individual. And that's what my clients really love.
That's awesome. Okay, I may come back to that at the end with some follow-up questions, but I know
Yeah.
that today we were getting together to talk about holding on to your smile during the Christmas
Yes.
chaos, and I'm really excited to hear more about what that is because the holidays can definitely be a struggle. So, I
Yes.
think SMILE is an acronym, correct?
It is. It is. And so,
Okay.
like you said, the holidays are crazy. And so when I think about it, I'm like, sometimes the happiest time of the year, it's supposed to be the most wonderful time of the year, but it turns out to be the most
Uh-huh.
chaotic time of the year. It turns out to be the most stressful
Yep.
time of the year. And so I really want to be able to help moms smile and help women smile throughout this time of the year, to help everybody smile. Everybody needs to smile, right? Throughout
Yeah.
this time of the year. And so, yes, SMILE is an acronym. And what it stands for is being able to set the tone for your day. A lot of times we jump
Hmm.
up and we just start our day. We're starting our day in chaos. We're already tired. We hit that snooze button, 2 or 3 times. So we've already set a tone of chaos in our day because we didn't give ourselves a
Hmm.
chance to just calmly, get up. So you set the tone for your day. Go to bed a little earlier. That sets the tone for the next day.
Mm.
Create a morning routine, a simple morning routine. Do you get up and listen to a great podcast? Do you be great with a great podcast in the morning? Do you sit by the window and drink a cup of coffee? Create a morning routine that's going to help you set your day, and then maintain your boundaries. That's probably the hardest thing to do during Christmas time, is to maintain boundaries. But that's where a lot of our stress comes from. And one of the things that I have found is we can't maintain our boundaries because we don't know our limits. What are your limitations?
Mm.
What are your boundaries? Set those things before all of the chaos happen. If you know this year that you don't want the cousins spending the night at your house this year because it's been a really tough year at work or whatever it is, set those in the beginning. Don't wait until the day and go, oh my gosh, I'm so stressed. No, set that limit. And then ask your partner, if you have one, to step in with you, or ask a sister or brother to step in with you. Ask somebody to come in with you. Share those boundaries and limits with them so that they can support you when you share it with others. And so maintaining those boundaries
Mm.
is really going to help you be a little happier throughout this year. And then you want to also be able to intentionally rest. Be intentional about your
Mm.
rest. That's going to make you cheese right there when you could get some rest in, however that looks for you.
Mhm.
If it's 5-minute breaks, throughout your day, do that. If it's sitting in the car for 15 minutes before you walk in, to the house, do that. Delegate, delegate, delegate. Ask for help where you need it. Be non-negotiable when it comes to self-care. Create a self-care calendar that you'll be accountable to, and write down,
Mm.
some one thing for every day, and that you'll be accountable to. That's going to make sure that you're intentional about resting your mind, your body, your soul. And then L, child, let go. Leave the little things alone. Let go of stuff. Somebody offended you, say, okay, because we put so much stress on ourselves by not letting things go. Forgive that family
Mm.
member, and move on. Let somebody else bring the rose this year because they was mad about not bringing them last year. That's fine. Limit some of the maybe some of the strict rules in the house, just for now, so that you're not putting extra pressure on yourself. But let some things go, and definitely let go of the things that you can't control. And then the most important thing, it's the holidays. Enjoy the moments
Mm.
and making new memories. That's what it's about. It's about being able to be with your family,
Mm.
your loved ones. Be intentional about creating those memories. What's the point of all of this if everyone leaves and you were upset and mad and stressed out and you didn't even have a chance to enjoy the time? The time that you have today is only the time that you have today. Enjoy that moment and enjoy creating memories that are going to last you for a lifetime. And if we do these things, and if we hold on to our smile, setting our tone, maintaining boundaries, being intentional about rest, letting some things go, small things, and being intentional about enjoying the moments, not only will we be able to smile through the holidays, but we're going to be able to smile through 2024 too.
I was going to say that sounds like a very practical strategy for any time of year, not just
Right.
Christmas, but I can definitely see how it would help with Christmas too. Mhm.
Yes.
I've been trying to sit here thinking about, okay, well, how do I put this into practice? How can I make my Christmas less chaotic by doing that? And I think for me, really the big one is going to be maintaining boundaries, especially with my
Mhm.
family. I love my family to pieces, but there's definitely times like pretty much every year without fail, we end up arguing about something and it
Hmm.
taints the holiday for like
Yeah.
no reason. It's usually something really minuscule that could have been avoided if we had just, communicated what those boundaries were
Hmm.
beforehand and kind of set those
Yeah.
expectations for people. Mm-hmm.
Absolutely, absolutely. And again, I'm a firm believer that we need support in that area. So being able to say to your
Mm-hmm.
partner or your sister or your bestie, if they're going to be there with you at that time, being able to say, you know what, this year I know that we always, our family always finds something, unfortunately to argue about, but this year I'm going to set the boundary that when things begin to get a little overheated, that I'm going to say, you know what, you guys, I'm going to remove myself from this conversation because I want to be able to enjoy the holidays with you. I want to be able to create exciting memories with you. And this is not the memory that I'd like to have. So I'm going to go ahead and remove myself
Mm-hmm.
and then I'll come back because I want to create great memories with you. So I'll be back in about 10 or 15. Well, probably everyone is going to be like, okay, well, I want to create great memories too. So
Yes, leading by example.
hmm. And it helps you in your boundaries. Whoever is supporting you, they're with you at that time, which gives you even more courage to do it, more confidence in it. Who can't use a little more
Mm-hmm.
confidence in support? And then it allows you to be able to set that tone of what your holiday is going to look like.
Yeah, absolutely. And within that too, you also mentioned, being intentional about your self-care. Specifically, you
Hmm.
have a self-care resource, correct?
Yes, I do. And I did this for myself, you guys, and it just worked wonders because I have to follow my own stuff too. Because
Mm-hmm.
it gets chaotic for me
Mm-hmm.
too. And so I created a Christmas self-care calendar of 25 different things that you can do, one each day, so that you are intentional about your
Mm-hmm.
self-care during this time. Some of them are as simple as, volunteer at your favorite place if you can. Some of them are as simple as, just take 5 minutes and let the wind, just feel the wind, step away and feel the wind. And one of my favorites that's on there is watch mindless TV because that's something that I do to have my own self-care. I love being able to
Mm-hmm.
laugh. And so my days they can be pretty stressful. And so before I go to bed, I don't want all that anxiety, stress. I don't want that, on my mind or in my body.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm very intentional that when I go to bed every night, I am watching an episode of Golden Girls.
Mm-hmm.
I'm watching an episode of Living Single. I'm watching an episode of Good Times, something that's going to make me
Mm-hmm.
smile, relax, so that I can have a peaceful rest.
Good. I like that. And where can people listening find your self-care calendar?
Absolutely. You're able to find that on my website, which is www.shelleymechette.com, SHELLEYMECHETTE.com. I know lots of E's in there. And I will also leave the direct link with you, Miss Brittany.
Perfect. So I'll put it in the show notes. I think that's definitely something that I'm going to check out. I know we're partway through December already, but it was like for me, the holidays, yes, are Christmas, but also sometimes leading up to New Year's can feel stressful too. And you've got like that
Oh,
bridge week in between the two, and
mm-hmm.
you're like, should I be working? Should I be
Right.
relaxing? So
Right.
I feel
And
like we
then,
can just kind of
right. And not
flow it
only that,
through.
all the time when we're getting ready to start a new year, it does kind of get more stressful because now we're
Mm-hmm.
like, well, what are my new goals? Well, what am I going to do? Well, how did it out? Well, am I really going to
Mm-hmm.
exercise this year? So it does. It creates another level of, oh my goodness, sometimes.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that makes sense. It was like I've definitely already started thinking about what next year looks like, more so in my
Mm-hmm.
business because I'm trying to be prepared and plan, and it is causing me a lot of stress and
Mm-hmm.
anxiety to try and figure out, what are realistic revenue targets and how are we going to
Yes.
hit those? What's that look like? Because for me, I'm also expecting in May. So it's like, okay, like I
Congratulations.
need to. Thank you. Yes, we're very excited. This will be baby number 4, so we'll have 4 under
Oh,
5.
oh, well,
So
busy
it's
life.
like I definitely need to, yes, I need to build in that season of rest for me while also still making sure that like financially I get to pay the bills while I'm resting and
Yes.
recovering from delivering a
Yes.
baby. So yeah,
Yes.
all of the things.
Absolutely.
So I could use
All
some
of
self-care.
all of those, yes, all of those wonderful things, being able to find pockets where you can relax, because again, being a mom of four, you can't go run out, and do a 2 hour shopping spree, even if that's something
No.
that you enjoy, even if that's part of something like, oh, I love to go out and shop. As a mom of four who are going to be under five, that's just not part of your reality, right now.
Mhm.
But you may be able to sit back, and maybe on, a Tuesday once a month, you might be able to sit down and do a full 30 minutes shopping online, when you lay
Mm.
out when the babies are napping. So as women, as moms, as parents, period, we just have to find
Mhm.
those pockets, where we can say, I'm going to take 5 minutes to just breathe.
Mhm. Yeah. And I think that's definitely something that I'm going to be making a priority in 2024 and putting some like resting images on my vision board because I've been looking to
Mm-hmm.
refresh my vision board for 2024. And actually, one of the other things that's going to be on my vision board, hopefully, is writing a book because it's something that I've always really wanted to do. It feels very exciting and
Yeah.
terrifying at the same time. And I know that you've published two books yourself. I would
Yes.
love for you to share a little bit about the books and then also your experience with like getting them published.
Yes, I did all of my books through self-publishing. And I'll tell
Oh.
you, the thing about me, I was very much a novice. And so I had no idea of
Mhm.
everything that had to go into it. And so that was probably good for me, because probably had I known everything, I just would have been like, I'm not going to do it. But it came so naturally because it started from a challenge. And it was a challenge of being
Mhm.
happy for 90 days, just to really take an account to what you're putting into your
Mhm.
mind and what you're speaking out of your mouth. I'm generally a pretty chill, pretty happy person, but I found that when I did the challenge, I was like, oh, I really did see where just taking control over certain things that have happened in my
Mm.
life has really kind of helped to, like, bring it down a little bit. And so I said, I would love to be able to share this. So I'm going to jot down, some of these things that I really like, and I'm going to put it into a
Mhm.
book. That 90-day ended up becoming a 70-day, because I really wanted to hone into some of the things that I really thought made me happy. And so I created my first book, 70 Days of Happy. Life is better when you smile, because I truly believe that a smile changes things. Let me tell you,
Mhm.
Brittany, I sat on that book for so long. For yes, there was
Oh.
so much fear of, well, who wants to listen to you? Well, who are you? Well, who's going to buy your book anyway? I made the mistake of telling my family that I was going to write a book and that it was going to be published by a certain day. And my family was in there. Well, I don't see your book. Well, you haven't been writing. Well, what's going on with your
Oh.
book? So I decided I'm not going to tell my family nothing else again, because they hold me to accountable.
It
But
is both a blessing and a curse.
right, right. And so I reached out to a friend who had published many books, and she says, "Well, why don't you start with self-publishing, and then you won't feel,
Mhm.
she's like, because a publisher is going to be on you and making sure that you're doing this and doing." She says, "Well, why don't you start with
Mhm.
self-publishing, and that way for you." It won't be as much pressure. And so she walked me through just one step at a time. After about a year of sitting on that book, because of all of the things I had told myself that people would say, I
Mhm.
woke up one day and said, if all of these things come true, if not one person buys it, if no one wants it, if people talk badly about it, if all of those things come
Mhm.
true, what is the one outcome that will never be changed? And that one outcome was going to be, you're a published author, and no one was ever going to be
Mhm.
able to take that from me. And with that, I
Mhm.
hit that button and published that book.
Mm.
And it has been a blessing to many, many people. So all of the things that I feared, you guys, that I wouldn't make any money, that no one was going to like it, that people were going to, all of those things I feared,
Mhm.
none of those things came true. And I became
Amazing.
a published author. So that was my first experience writing a book. And so I decided to try it again with a quote book.
Mhm.
I used to do quotes on Facebook every Tuesday, power quotes that I would put
Mhm.
there. And
Mhm.
women started asking me, where can I find these quotes? Where are these quotes that you're always putting up? And I'm like, you can't find them. They're my quotes. And they start going, well, do you have a book, or do you have something? Because I want to keep these quotes, and they're just all over, Facebook, and I can't find them.
Mhm.
I want to keep these quotes. And I was like, well, I never thought about that, to create a quote book. And so I
Mhm.
created a quote book, and I was very proud of myself, for doing that. And then I decided to do another experience, which was collabing. And so I did that, and I
Mhm.
thought, oh wow, I enjoy that part too, because all I have to do is write a chapter in here and not write the whole
Ooh.
book.
Mhm.
So I wanted both sides of those experiences, and I haven't regretted either side. They were both wonderful experiences. And now that I know that I can do it, who knows? Maybe another book or another opportunity will come from that. But it was one of the most empowering experiences for me.
Mm. I love that. And it was like, I would love to have published author in my bio somewhere. So it seems kind of vain to like go out and tackle a project like that just for that little thing.
No,
But
it doesn't.
I was like, it would be so cool. No? Okay. Okay. Thank you for validating
No,
that.
it doesn't. What it seems like is that's going to be the one thing that help pushes you, because you want to be able to do that. That is wonderful.
Mm,
I wanted to be able to have certified in front of my name as a coach.
mm,
So I went out and I'm like,
mhm,
I'm going to make sure I'm certified, because I want to be able to do this for my clients, and I want to be able to do that for myself.
mhm,
And again, it was personal, and for the fact that I wanted to be able to pour into women, but it was my personal thing to say, I want to gift myself this, to say, I went to this next level because this is what
mm,
I wanted for me in my business. And because of that, I'll be better for the women that I serve. Go get
mm.
that title, Brittany.
Okay, I'll work on it. I would love to write like a business related book or something like about my life experiences because I do things a little differently than some people. But I wrote a kids book technically. It's not published, but like I have the
Mm-hmm.
draft of it and I would really like to get it published. But I didn't know that it was very expensive to pay people to like color the pictures for the kids books to have it
Oh,
illustrated and I was like, oh, I don't know how committed I am to making that
yeah.
published author a reality when that's the price tag that goes with it.
Yes, that's okay. You could become a published author through collaborations if you'd like to do that, because that is still
Mm.
a published author. And you could become a
Hmm.
best-selling author through collaborating with others as well, which is
Okay.
how I became a best-selling author, through collaborating, and
Hmm.
through our bringing all those efforts together. With 10 ladies, we were able to push our books in a way that by myself, I wouldn't have been able to push as hard. And so there's such
Mm.
benefits both ways.
Mm. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And I feel like the first time I publish or write a book, that would be the best way to go about it. Because, like you mentioned, you kind of are just responsible for like one chapter, and that
Yes.
feels easier and more manageable than like sitting down and writing like a
Hmm.
150-page book.
Yes. When I found out, Brittany, that I could collaborate, I was like, oh, let me jump on this.
I love it. I love it. So, speaking of plans that we have in 2024, what can we expect to see from you next year in terms of empowering and inspiring other women?
Yes. My next year is so exciting for me, because I really want I'm first of all, I'm so in love with what I do, that I'm always thinking about women. I'm always thinking about ways
Mhm.
to help them reach their goals, to help them to create life harmony. And so some of the things that I'm going to be doing next year is I'm going to be doing several workshops. I'm going to be doing
Mm.
less chat events, which we'll just be able to get together. You'll be able to just ask me any questions, no pressure, no selling. It's us just getting to know each other, because I really love getting to know the women that I connect with. So I'm looking forward to doing several
Mm.
less chats. I'm looking forward to doing workshops to help women understand their time management, to help them reach their goals. I'm looking forward to doing more
Mhm.
television segments. That's high on my list. doing more amazing podcasts, and really creating more content so that women will be able to successfully soar into those things that they desire to do in life. So those are just some of the things that my 2024 looks like.
I love that. So I'm curious from I'm going to say holistic just because that's the only word that comes to mind, but
Mhm.
because you're all about not having mom guilt for putting all of these
Yes.
things together and following your passion in a way that feels really aligned. So how did you plan all of that while still maintaining that core value?
Oh my goodness. I think the way that really it starts is from my experience. And
Mm,
so I'm able to really help moms understand burnout because I've lived burnout. I'm able to help moms understand the loss of identity and feeling like everyone else is important and you're not, and feeling like you don't have a place, because that was me. And so I really feel
mm,
like the core value is always me and my truth and who I am, and taking those things and making them relatable for you. And I believe that's one of the things that I enjoy most with the women, is making those things relatable. So when I think about things like that, then I think about what type of content, events, opportunities can I create for you that's going to get you to that next
mm,
level of no more feeling guilty. What can we do to make sure that you're not feeling guilty for loving you? you know what type of day can we create so that you can incorporate you on a guiltless level? What's making you feel
mm.
guilty? Now how can we combat that? I dealt with a lot of mom guilt, and I'm sure you can understand that with having small
Oh yeah.
children. you know you deal with, am I doing enough? Am I not doing? Did I feed them right? Should I not have given them a cookie? Should I do? It's just so much that we deal with, and then when we open our
Mhm.
mouths to say that thing, someone pounces on us. And
Mm,
so now that's an extra level of guilt. How can we take those things and create a truth to what the outside world is trying to create a lie or guilt to? And those are
mhm,
the things that I work with moms. We have to stop. We have to stop putting this pressure on ourselves as women, as mothers, as business owners. We have to be able to look and
mhm,
say it's okay to woosah. It's okay to get it wrong. It's okay to be imperfect. All of these things are okay.
mhm.
Yeah.
I like that. And I like coming at it from a perspective of what is my truth and how can
Mhm.
I share that in a way that feels aligned for myself as an individual, but also for my business. So I think
Yes.
that's something I'm going to internalize for when I do my
Yes.
planning for next year.
I think that really helps because your clients, and a lot of times our clients are aligned with who we are or where we were. And
Hmm.
so being able to
Yes.
hold true to what was good for me, what was I feeling, and how do I package that and relate and make it relatable to my clients so that they can experience that same win that either I have already experienced, or that I'm walking through and I can see the goal. You know, I see
Mm,
where it's gonna happen, and I think that
mm,
honesty, with our clients, and in our business, I think that is very much seen by those who we work with.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I feel like you have so much wisdom to share, and we've covered a lot already today. So, I just before we wrap up, I'll ask if you have anything else that you want to share. But I would also love it if you could spend a little bit of time talking about your one-on-one coaching service for any of the listeners that are like, you know what, I really need to feel more aligned and driven by passion and none of this mom guilt.
Yes, yes, absolutely. And so I've actually moved from doing one-on-one to doing more coaching
Hmm.
because, again, I had to sit back, I had to look at my plate, I had to see what was realistic, what wasn't, and where I was
Mm-hmm.
not harmonizing my two worlds. And
Mm-hmm.
so now I don't do one-on-one, I do group coaching, but I always do a one-on-one call, our initial call. And so that call, I'm
Mm-hmm.
always open to, and you can always schedule that call on my site. And on that call, what we do is we go over because I work with moms, what your mom type is, what your goals are, how to merge those things, what mom lies you've been told, and how we can
Mm-hmm.
combat that. And what is your one desire? What is your one desire that you want to
Mm.
be able to incorporate in your life? And how can we begin putting that together? So that's a 30-minute to 45-minute call that I do offer just so that we can get to know each other, get a couple of things out, and so that I can put you on a path. If we never speak again, I still want to put you on a path where you'll be able to go, okay,
Mm.
I can utilize this in my life. Yeah.
I like that. Awesome. And I'll link your website and things like that in the show notes for anyone that wants to connect with you and your socials. But just so that people hear it, which I find helps them remember to go and do it, can you share where we can find you on socials?
Absolutely. You can find me on my website where we can connect, which is www.shelleymeche'tte.com. We can always connect on Instagram. I love Instagram friends. That is my name, Shelley Meche'tte. I
Mm-hmm.
have a mom group in Facebook, Moms with Purpose. And so we can connect there as well. And you guys, I have TikTok now.
Yay!
I'm on the TikTok game now, or I'm trying, you guys. I'm trying, but I'd love to connect with you on TikTok as well, and that is my name too, Shelley Meche'tte. I try to keep it simple.
Wonderful. I love it. Well, thank you for being here and sharing with us your smile technique for keeping it during the holiday chaos and so much other wisdom that
Yeah.
you shared today. It really has been a pleasure recording with you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure to be here, and I hope everyone has a calm Christmas this year.
I love it. I love it. All right. Well, thank you guys for listening, and we will be back next week. Thank you so much for tuning in to Go Get Great. I hope you found some useful tips and tricks that can help you make life and business work together. If what I said resonates with you, please share it on social media, and don't forget to tag at Brittany Miller Socials so that I can celebrate you for taking those first steps towards achieving greatness. Remember, success doesn't happen overnight. It takes dedication, hard work, and a lot of spirit. So don't be afraid to dream big and go after what you want. Keep striving for greatness. You get closer with every step forward, no matter how small they may seem. Until next time, go get great.